Hello. All right, let's do that sound test now because I don't have a microphone today, and I'll explain that in a minute. But I'm using the webcam thing as the microphone. So, can you let me know if you can hear me or not? I hope so, but if not, I have a backup. I can connect my iPhone to it, I think. At least it was connected before, so we'll see if it connects again. But my battery's okay, so I could go with that. Maybe that's better. But let me know, and I'll change it up. And hi, how is everybody doing? Welcome to Q&A. I hope everyone's having a good St. Patrick's Day, and I want to hear all about whether you're cooking today or have cooked or plan on doing it this coming weekend or you did it last weekend and what you made and all that stuff. Okay, good. Hey, Dawn, how are you doing? Hi, Doreen, how are you? Hi, Craig. Hi, Carol. Okay, good. So everybody can hear me. Hi, Will, how are you? Hi, Heidi. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Cass. And remind me. Well, you don't have to put it in the chat. Never mind. I'm going to ask you, Blake, for your name. Jeff tells me all the time, and every single time I forget. Um, hey, Leanne, how are you? Good morning, John. Good to see you. And I think I said hi to everybody. Craig, I didn't say hi to you. Hey, Craig, how are you? So, what is everybody doing? I think I said hi to everyone. Hey, Debbie. Thank you. Thank you so much, Debbie. So, I know it got cold. We had a little bit of a warm spell here in Tennessee and Mississippi, and I was getting so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, spring is coming, summer is coming. I'm so excited about that. It didn't last though. It is freezing. It even snowed yesterday, and it was kind of funny. Jeff got home and he said, "Did you see the snow today?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't see the snow. I wasn't looking for snow. I didn't see the snow." He said, "Yeah, it snowed a couple of times. I mean, nothing, we don't get a whole lot of snow anyway, but nothing that stuck or anything like that." But when he got home, he said, "It's snowing right now." And I said, "Well, oh my gosh, go take a picture of that for me." He's like, "Well, you're not going to see much." I said, "Well, do your best. Just try to get a little bit of snow falling because, and I hope I don't tear up about this, but my dad died when he was only 50 years old. And St. Patrick's Day was a big deal in our family. I'm Irish. My grandmother's from Ireland. My great grandmother lived in Ireland forever, really. I think she came over to the US very late in life. And my dad, of course, is Irish. So St. Patrick's Day was a big deal. I'm, always the American style of corned beef, cabbage, all that kind of stuff. And my dad died the day after St. Patrick's Day. And, how do you feel about that? Everyone has their own thing. For me, it wasn't like, oh, St. Patrick's Day is ruined. But I do understand if dates and anniversaries of deaths and things like that do affect people differently. But St. Patrick's Day was something that we all enjoyed as a family. So, we always celebrated it. And I told Jeff last night, I can count on one hand the amount of times that it hasn't snowed around St. Patrick's Day, wherever I've lived in Maryland or here, less here, but that's probably 4 out of the 5 fingers that I have that it didn't snow. But so when it snowed last night, I was like, wow, Dad, thank you. Thank you so much because I love the snow. I love to watch it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So every time I say, thank you, Dad, sending me a little bit of snow. Now bring me the sunshine and the warmth, please, because I'm ready to say goodbye to winter. So anyway, let's see. Oh, Heidi just finished making sourdough. That's awesome. I have left my sourdough starter in Memphis. Oh my gosh, I don't live in Memphis. I don't go to Memphis. In Mississippi, because we were supposed to be in Mississippi. And a lot of you guys know that we commute back and forth between Tennessee and Mississippi. It's not that far. It's like we're right on the border, so it's not that far. But we were supposed to be 2 weeks in Mississippi. That's when I do all my recipe testing and things like that. Then when I'm here at home, I do more computer work and things like that. But it has rained so much, the yard is muddy, and they're doing work on our deck, and they had ripped out the steps because they're rebuilding them. And I couldn't take the dogs because they can't go outside, right? There's no fence in the front yard, and I'm not letting them out there. They would run away, I'm sure. So I had to stay here. So I did commute, I think once to go there to do a little bit of work, but basically I've been staying home. I have no idea why I was even telling you this, but there was a point to it. But I totally lost my thoughts because my dog just walked in here and he's so cute. But yeah, I totally forgot why I was telling you this. But anyway, I was supposed to be in Mississippi. There's some reason I'm telling you this, but I have no idea now. So we're going to forget it. But that is why I don't have a microphone, because I'm supposed to be there and I'm here. But that wasn't why I started that conversation. So, it was my sourdough. That's right. God, how do I get through a recipe, guys? I have no idea. I left my sourdough starter in Mississippi, but it is going to be just fine. I don't fuss with mine. Like, I know a lot of people are real technical about it. In fact, I just did a reel I said, Jeff, come over here, film me doing this. This is before we left Mississippi. I said, just film me, because it's hilarious how people get very uptight about their sourdough starter, and they're very precise, and they want to measure every gram of flour and measure every gram of water and all this kind of stuff. And me, no, I just pour in some flour, pour in some water, mix it up when it looks like the consistency that I know it wants, because sometimes it needs a little bit more flour and sometimes less. I'm done, because if I had to fuss with all that, weighing stuff out, feeding it every day and all that stuff, I just leave mine on the counter. It's been going good for 3 years. And except for when I went to Australia for 5 weeks, I did put it in the fridge then, and it's still fine. But usually I just leave it out and I don't even worry about it. Okay. Yeah, people are talking about the temperature. Yeah, I know. That's exactly what it is around here, Debbie. It was like 76, 77 degrees last week, and it was 20 degrees today. Ridiculous. And I'm ready for warm weather. I'm so ready that Jeff and I are leaving for Panama on, I think, April 1st. I think that's when we leave. His birthday is April 2nd. So this time last year well, John, were we already there? I think we were. So this time last year, we were in Australia with John, and Jeff celebrated his 60th in Tasmania. All right. Hey, Crystal, how are you? How are you doing? Oh, I'm so sorry you're not feeling well. Oh, baked potato and chicken sounds good, and it's freezing there too. Yeah, we were talking about that. Oh, Barbara says 90 degrees in California. Oh, I would love that right now, I think. And Craig in Canada saying mild and rain. It's been rainy here, terrible. And windy, really, really windy. Hey, Melissa, how are you? Hi, Trisha. All right. Debbie says my husband's favorite dinner was corned beef, and I'm so sorry. I put that up on the screen before I read it. I'm sorry. And I still make it the same way. And when it's done, I make a glaze and throw it in the oven with the glaze on top. That sounds perfect. I think you might, I don't know. Did you tell me what your glaze was? I remember somebody telling me their glaze was pretty similar to the one I use. Oh, you dropped it. Oh no, Heidi dropped her starter and had to throw a new one. I know. They take a little bit of time to get established too, don't they? But at least just flour and water. So, hey, Sally. No green. Oh, right. Jeff, I know, Sally. How are you? So yeah, I know. Isn't that ridiculous? And when I was getting dressed, I didn't even think about it, to be honest with you. I could have put on, the only thing I have green here is a green pajama top, but you wouldn't have known it was a pajama top. I could have totally worn it, but I didn't even think about it. So yeah, no green, and there's no green. I don't have any green around either. So I can't even stick a green thing in my hair or anything. Yeah. Bad girl. And Jeff said to me, you should be wearing green today. I was like, well, he told me last night, he's like, do you have anything green to wear tomorrow? I'm like, no. I even said to him, is tomorrow St. Patrick's Day? Because I don't know. It's been St. Patrick's Day for me for 2.5, 3 weeks. I have made 5 batches of corned beef and cabbage over the past several weeks getting a recipe out. So it has been corned beef and cabbage for me. So it's been St. Patrick's Day for a long time. Oh, and I did the Irish soda bread, and it's called cinnamon raisin quick bread because I already have 2 recipes on my website for Irish soda bread. So I thought I would name it something different, but essentially it's Irish soda bread. All right, let's see. Hey Laddie, how are you? You made some corned beef today. Good. How did you do it? What kind of cooking method? I have tried so many over the years, but I still, even though I love the Possible Cooker Pro recipe that I just put out. Obviously, I wouldn't have put it out, although I didn't do it perfectly on the video, but that happens sometimes. But I still have to go back to the pressure cook version. It's a little fussier, in and out with the meat and the vegetables because I want them all cooked right. So it's a little bit easier in the Possible Cooker Pro, but man, that air fried glaze on top takes that recipe over the top, really. So, so good. Okay, John says, yes, we were with him in Australia this time last year, and we did the live 12 months ago. All right, there you go. That was fun. That was fun. I ran across your sandwich that you made for us. And I actually have it. I'm doing all this organization, which I've been talking about for a long time. And so I'm finding all these different photos and stuff. And I found that sandwich photo and some photos of us and stuff. And I've put them all into my Google Drive so that anytime I want to, post something on social media, I can just grab it and do it. So it was nice to see that. I still haven't posted the video of us, when we got off the train. And that was just such an important moment in my life. I'll have to share that with people. Hey, Brittany, how are you? Okay, that's a good question. How do I plan on refilling my freezer after donating so much to help out the community back during the crazy weather? I didn't put a dent in it, Brittany. I didn't put it. I have a huge upright freezer, and I didn't put a dent in it. If I had the stamina and people still had the need, I could have cooked for another month and still had food left in the freezer. So it was a good thing to get rid of some of the stuff. I'm very happy to have used it up. It was for a good cause and everything. And one thing that I feel kind of guilty about right now is there's a couple of people, some older people in our community that I told Jeff, I said, look, I want to continue to feed them. And you know how life goes, right? Then you get busy and you're like, okay, then Jeff's busy. And, but I really need to start taking my leftovers. And when I say leftovers, I don't mean stuff that was on my plate and I'm eating and here, let me put that into a container and go take it to the, elderly lady around the corner. That's not what I mean. What I mean is the testing stuff, because I test the recipes so often. I have so much food all the time. Which I'm going to tell you a funny story about having so much food until you don't, right? So yeah, I got to get that out to them too, because I really just have way too much food until you don't. So here's that story. So I'm here in Tennessee. I don't keep a lot of food here. And I haven't been back a whole lot since that big storm happened, because I stayed in Corinth, I think, for about a week after that. Jeff could come back to the house here, but I just stayed there in case we had more bad weather and, whatever. I just stayed there. I stayed there with the dogs. So, or maybe he even took the dogs a couple times. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So I don't keep any food here, literally. And I was supposed to go back. So I brought enough to feed Jeff and myself, Jeff and me, for a couple days. Well, going to the grocery store from where I live here in Tennessee, it is a commitment. It is a day. Like, it doesn't seem like it. It's 30 some minutes away, but literally by the time you go, crate the dogs, blah, 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 get in the car, drive there, go do the grocery shopping. I mean, it is definitely 2.5 hours out of your day. And that is a lot of time for me. I don't like to do that. So, so I haven't. So I've had to be real creative because I do not have any food in this house at all. In fact, Jeff is bringing home things for me to make cheesesteaks tonight because we literally have no food in the house. I have made egg salad and homemade crackers for lunch the other day, and I posted it on Facebook, and I'm like, people are not going to believe me. Like when I say I have no food here, but I literally have no food. I had to open up a can of evaporated milk this morning for my coffee because I don't have any cream or any half and half or any milk products at all. So it's just kind of funny for a food blogger to have zero food. Zero. It's hilarious. I do have like a thing of pickles in the fridge, things like that, but no food whatsoever. Anyway, I am, Crystal, kind of sick and tired of corned beef. I mean, I love it. And I want to I'm going to end up probably throwing some of it away because it's still in Corinth. And now it's probably getting to that point where it's done, right? Which saddens me. So I'm going to have to make another one because I still have to do the Reubens salad. That was on the list for me to do with the leftovers of the corned beef. But then, things just happened and yeah. So didn't get it done. Hey, Kat, how are you? Good to see everybody. Hey, Barbara, how are you? All right, Kat says, I was going to make your corned beef and cabbage recipe today, but I've been in too much pain. Oh, I'm sorry. Have I tried to freeze dry any leftovers? No, I was just talking about that. I left them in Corinth. That's where the freeze dryer is, and they're not going to be any good. So I'm going to have to throw it away, which really sucks because I could have done so much with it, right? But I have not tried. I have freeze-dried cabbage before. Obviously, I've freeze-dried carrots too. And I've freeze-dried brisket, but not corned beef. And I freeze-dried ham. So I'm thinking you'll be fine if that's what you're asking. If you're, and I do freeze-dry tons of leftovers, like all the time. In fact, funny, I have chicken riggies here. We were going to have that tonight for dinner. And then I was like, well, wait a minute. By the time I get off the live and all this stuff, I want something that like going to take like 10 minutes. So I'm going to make cheesesteak with this really thin beef that Jeff gets from Kroger. So anyway, happy St. Patrick's Day, Debbie. How are you? Kat, I do have freeze-dried. Jeff told me that last night. He's like, well, you have freeze-dried food. I was like, oh, that's right. I do. And I did have it for lunch today. I rehydrated cheddar broccoli soup for lunch today. So I did have that. And Crystal, this is funny. This is funny. I do have delivery. Okay. Now this is going to sound ridiculous to people, I'm sure. We do have delivery. I can get delivery here. And Callie, honey, we don't need to bark. I can get delivery here now. And in Corinth, I sometimes do delivery, but literally the grocery store is not that far away. So I'll do pickup most of the time if I don't want to go in. Now, meats and stuff I have to pick out myself. And sometimes vegetables, if I'm testing a recipe, I might let them pick them out. But usually if I'm making a recipe for film, I go in and pick out my vegetables because they will not pick out the best ones all the time. Hey, Rebecca, how are you? But I had a Walmart order ready and I was going to have it delivered here. And I just kept hesitating and hesitating and hesitating me. And you know why I didn't place it? Because we are so far away, even though they do it. I didn't think the driver, even if I tipped really, really well, I just thought I am wasting his or her time, and they're not going to make enough money. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let them hopefully deliver to local people where they can get more deliveries done and make their tips and earn their living. So that's why I'm just like hesitant to do it. Because I feel like I would have to like tip her like $50. By the time I do that, I might as well just him or her. I'm not being sexist here. I don't want to do that to somebody. I mean, we're far out in the middle of nowhere. So I just don't think I don't know. Hey, Bonnie, how are you? Yeah, Kat, you'll be fine, I think, with freeze drying. Because the brisket freeze dried great, even though it's got fat in it. They say don't freeze dry fatty cuts, but it did fine, no problems whatsoever. Oh, that's a good question because that was one of the things I was gonna do is make corned beef hash from my leftover corned beef. And I'm not gonna be able to do that now. And to be honest with you, I've only made it a couple of times. And I believe that it's just, diced up potatoes and you can either shred or chop up, the corned beef into small pieces and you just fry it over, on a skillet. But you could probably also air fry it, but I would start the potatoes first if you wanted to air fry it, get those, almost done. And then the corned beef doesn't take any time at all because you don't really want that air fry, the fan, the dry heat. You don't want it to dry out your corned beef. So I'd probably stick with the skillet for that one, actually. Now that I think about it. Yeah, Kat, I understand. She says I have to be very desperate to get delivery because I like to pick out my own food. I get that totally. It was funny. I needed a ham one time, and I had already gotten delivery from them for a ham, and no matter what, if I want a small ham, they're going to give me a big ham. And if I want a big ham, they're going to give me a small ham. I know that now, right? But at the time, I was like, oh, last time I was there, all of them were kind of on the smaller side, these hams. So I'm like, it'll be fine. Oh my gosh. They must have given me the biggest ham in the damn store. I couldn't even fit it in the appliance I was going to test it in. So it is still in my freezer. I still haven't made it because it's just so big. I'm going to have to do that one in the oven. Yeah, corned beef hash would be a good video. I would have to, I haven't even eaten it that often, to be honest with you, because leftover corned beef for me is Reubens all the way, or the corned beef salad, which is a deconstructed Reuben with homemade rye croutons, and it is absolutely delicious. And it's lettuce and it's even the sauerkraut in there, the rye croutons, the Swiss cheese cubes. It is amazing. Oh my gosh. It is one of my favorite salads because Reubens are my favorite sandwich of all time. And I have a recipe not on my website though. For some reason, I didn't put it on the website. I have it on YouTube, how to make a Reuben, which sounds kind of funny. Like, how do you make a Reuben? I mean, they're easy, right? And who needs to know how to make a Reuben? Let me just tell you, after years of making Reubens, there are a few secrets. So if you ever get like soggy Reubens or they're not perfectly toasted, sometimes the rye bread is too thin and it becomes too crunchy and then it falls apart. That's not good. I have a video you can watch on exactly how I make a Reuben, and it is absolutely the best way, and you will have delicious Reubens every time. And if you have the Ninja Combi, toast your Reuben. Don't air fry it. Toast it in the bottom of the pan, put it on medium or high toast. I usually flip it halfway through and then just I up the time until I get it exactly the way I want it. But the Reubens turn out great in the combi. Any grilled sandwich turns out great in the combi. There's something about it. It's just fantastic. Best way of all the different cooking methods that I've tried. Debbie says she's trying to find some St. Patrick's Day music tonight. Nothing much here. Next year, liking your corned beef and cabbage recipe. Thank you. Thank you. So are you in Ireland today? I mean, is that where you live? That's awesome. I don't want to read too much into it, but I'm kind of thinking that maybe you are in Ireland. That's awesome. And I can't believe that there isn't any St. Patrick's Day celebrations going on with some music and stuff. So that's what I thought, Kat. So talk to me a little bit more about that. So Kat's saying that I love hash. If it's made right, it has to be very small dices. Yes, I think so, but not shredded, right? Not shredded corned beef. Just nice small dices of both the potatoes and the corned beef. But where does the flavor come from? And I don't mean to sound ignorant. If I do sound ignorant, yeah, it is what it is. But I know you would put probably some salt and pepper. But is there any other flavor that goes in corned beef hash? I mean, I'll probably put my twist on it, But I'm just curious of what the flavor is, because it seems like if it's not cooked in like beef tallow or something like flavorful and rich, it seems like it's going to be a little bit dry and boring to me. So let me know if you have any ideas. All right, Bonnie's picked up a corned beef and cabbage dinner. Oh, from a caterer. All right, good. How did they make it? Did they I think caterers usually, I think they're probably braising in the oven, probably. And Crystal says delivery is awesome. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. It is great. Oh, Bonnie, Reubens soup. Now that is an interesting one, my friend. That is an interesting idea. Oh, good. So Kat's already tried it. Yep, yep, yep. I know. There's a couple things that like I'm really picky about. Grilled cheese sandwiches and Reubens. Really, really picky. Well, I'm also really picky about the size of a hamburger bun compared to the size of the burger. That's got to match up. And then the hamburger bun has to be a certain like density, like it can't fall apart. It's got to hold up to everything else. So yeah, I'm picky about sandwiches. I'm more picky about sandwiches than I am probably anything else, really. That's funny. All right, not rye. Okay, interesting. Kat says she's not a fan of the rye. I think the rye just pulls it all together. Oh my gosh, so good. But you just gave me an idea. I wonder if I made a Reuben, and hear me out here, okay? If I made a Reuben with all those rich and the sauerkraut, the sourness of the sauerkraut, the tanginess of the Thousand Island dressing, or Russian dressing, because you could use either. I think Russian dressing is actually more traditional, but I use Thousand Island because I like it better. Wonder if I did it with Irish soda bread, which would bring that. It would be the perfect bread because it holds up so nice with grilling or toasting, and it would bring that sweet component in for like a sweet and savory type of Reuben. I am trying that. Now this means that in the next week or so, I'm going to have to make another corned beef and cabbage, get that hash made up, right? And I'm going to have to make another loaf of Irish soda bread. There you go. Well, the thing is, Crystal, for us here about a refund with delivery, I probably wouldn't do that, but I would have to take it back. I guess they don't take food back, so I don't know. I just wouldn't. I figure I'm rolling the dice. I know. I'm rolling the dice. So if they give me something bad, as long as it's not rotten. If it was rotten, I would not do it. Oh, Barbara watched the recipe on doing the Reuben too. That's awesome. That was a long time ago. I've been getting those recipes, the videos off of YouTube, not taking them down, but downloading them because I'm doing things with them. And in my big organizational, project, and I'm seeing some of the videos and like some of the sound is so horrible when we were first starting out. And like some of they're so long. I mean, they're longer than they are now, way longer. But I will have to say, first of all, I looked so young and I love that. I wish I could go back there to that young Louise. And there was such a calmness about me. It was the early days where I did not care or know about all the trolls out there on the internet that were going to get on me for every little thing I did wrong or didn't do or didn't say or said this way or said that way. So it was before all the stress. I was just going along, cooking my thing, doing whatever, not a care in the world. And I'm trying to get back there because I'm not even paying attention to the idiots that don't like how I do something. I don't care anymore. If you don't like it, don't watch it. I don't care because I'm going to cook the way I cook. So yeah, I like that. Seeing those just calm, take you through it step by step. Sometimes now I feel like I'm rushing because I'm like, oh, I can't have a long video, 12 minutes, 14 minutes tops. And oh, duck fat would be good. Yeah, the hash would be good in duck fat. Mm. Irish Colcannon soup. That is one of my favorites. Um, of as far as a potato soup goes. And of course, Colcannon potatoes are so amazing. And if you guys have not tried them, try them. They sound weird. They have cabbage in them. I put some leeks in mine too, and green onions because that's how my Irish grandmother did it. And when I put that recipe out the first time, it went viral. But well, I guess some people would say viral's viral, good for you. Um, but it was people were so mad at me. People were so mad at me for messing up their colcannon, which is just cabbage. They said, don't put anything else in it. I'm like, oh, my grandmother put green onions, and she was, Irish completely. So you can do things, It doesn't mean you don't appreciate their culture. You can add things to your food. But yeah, ooh, boy. Uh, uh, uh. Anyway, I love rye bread too. Um, okay, so that's a good question. If I grate potatoes on my cheese grater for hash, will it work? Yes, but it won't be traditional hash, but it's fine because it's your food. You make it any which way you want. So it will work. The thing with the grated potatoes though is I would par cook the potatoes. So now, of course, if they're already cooked in your with your corned beef and cabbage and you've got leftovers, you can absolutely grate those up if they're firm enough. But if you just grate raw potatoes to try to make any kind of a hash or a hash brown or anything like that, they just do not cook up well enough. They need to be par cooked at least. Otherwise, they take so long to cook through, even though they're shredded, right? You get the browning way before you get them cooked all the way through. Now, you could probably put a little bit of water in the pan and steam them first, but then you run the risk of them getting too soggy. So the best thing is to par cook them. But I think fully cooked potatoes would work too. But I personally would probably not grate them if they're fully cooked. I would probably dice them fine. They're gonna almost fall apart if they're fully cooked, like in a whole corned beef and cabbage dinner, where the potatoes are really soft. I think that they would probably fall apart. But if they're just par cooked or they're a little hard, still you could definitely grate them. But it wouldn't be traditional, like I said. But it doesn't matter. Traditional doesn't matter. All right. Oh my gosh, you are putting me on the spot here, Debbie, and I do not remember. And it is on the tip of my tongue. And as soon as I saw your question, I'm like, oh my gosh, what kind of a granddaughter am I? Where? And it's something everybody would recognize. It's not like some obscure place. It's not Dublin or anything like that, but oh, I can't remember. I'm gonna have to have Jeff start to look it up and find out because how embarrassing, right? Oh, great. Melody made my colcannon and it was delicious. That's awesome. That's awesome. Where in the world? Yes, colcannon soup with the leeks. I think I used the leftover colcannon to make the colcannon soup, which, is basically just cork. No, I don't think so, Jeff. I don't think it's cork. Darn it. There's a recording of me. I don't even know if it's around anymore. And it was when my great grandmother was flying over from Ireland to come to the US to stay with my grandmother and then live out the rest of her years here. And I am a little girl, probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 years old. And I'm just saying, Granny's coming on the plane from Ireland. It's the cutest recording in the world. I wish I knew where it was. And I just kept saying it and in the sky, so funny. And I probably knew when I was 5 where she was coming from. I'm sure I said it, but now I cannot remember. I'm so embarrassed right now. I'm looking up. Let's see. Because as soon as I see it, I'm going to know. No, no, no. Well, how embarrassing. I don't think it was cork though, but anyway, I don't know. I should have just said yes, cork. No, I don't. I wouldn't lie about it, and I don't know. I don't think it's that. All right, Jeff, where are you, by the way? Well, don't answer if you're. Oh, Kat, don't feel bad. I don't even remember my grandmother's first name. I remember my grandmother's first name. Her name was May, but my great grandmother, who's the one that came over from Ireland, she was a mean one, to be honest with you. She was mean. She was very jealous. She was very jealous of me and my relationship with her daughter, my grandmother. She was very mean to me, but I don't know her name. Mean lady. I don't know her name at all. Oh gosh. Well, I don't know where she lived either. So there's that. Yeah. Oh well. We move on, right? I was going to say something else, and I can't remember now. Something else that I didn't remember, and I thought, oh my gosh, I should really. My mother's birthday. Well, I mean, I know her birthday. I know her birthday. That's ridiculous. I do know my mother's birthday. I do not know how old she is ever. I always have to ask Jeff, how old is my mom? Because I have no idea. It almost seems unbelievable, that we all get older. Like in my mind, like I'm still my 20s or 30s. That's just how it's going to be, right? Now my body doesn't agree with that, but in my brain, like I don't think that I'm, as old as I am, and my mother isn't either because, because that would make me older, right? Hey Barb, how are you? Oh, that's wonderful. So she made the corned beef and cabbage. Which one did you do? The pressure cooker one or the Possible Cooker Pro one? I'm looking forward to hearing some people who made the Possible Cooker Pro one because I want to make sure that one's spot on as far as cook times because I ran into a little bit of an issue. Well, I made the issue. I created the issue on the video because it was in my test batches. I always went 2 hours for the first braise, and I just cut it short the second braise because on the video, the first braise, I cut it short by 30 minutes because I had reached 200 degrees and I'm like, oh, it's going to be fine. It's going to get up, to where I want it in the next hour or so. But prior to that, I had always gone the 2 hours and it was just above 200 degrees. Well, guess what? It wasn't as tender. So I learned my lesson. Oh, Debbie, thank you. Don't feel bad. Yeah. I'm glad I can make you smile. That's for sure. Oh, Barb. You use bourbon to make your corned beef? Do tell. Do you boil it down a little bit first? How does it taste? I've never been a huge fan of alcohol in food except for wine in certain things. But I did do that Irish beef stew with the Guinness, and I believe that it absolutely needs that Guinness. It balanced it out so perfectly, and it was so delicious. And I love bourbon, so I might have to try that. But I want to know, like, do you literally just pour the bourbon in and say, let's have some fun? Wow. Happy birthday to your mom. She would be 86. Okay, Debbie. I had an Aunt May. I remember going to Moose Creek as a child. I was in the countryside. Mom and my other aunt drove us there in a convertible, had their handkerchief holding their hairdo together. Oh, that's awesome. What a great memory. What a great memory. We named our cat Lady May. She was just such a wonderful cat. She died of feline leukemia a year after we got her. She was a year old, pretty much. She was a wonderful cat. Hey, Aaron, how are you? All right. 3/4 cup of bourbon and a 1/4 cup of water. Don't boil it down. Throw it in and pressure cook. Interesting. I'm gonna have to try that. That's awesome. Well, I don't know where Jeff is. He should be home pretty soon. So I'm going to wrap this up probably in about 10 minutes. So, does anybody have any other questions? We didn't get a whole lot of questions, but that's okay. Um, yeah, Kat, it was sad. It was so sad. Jeff, I'll tell you, it was like Jeff's mom literally was an angel an angel on earth and now in heaven. She was the nicest, kindest, sweetest lady I've ever met in my life. Um, and Lady Mayor Cat, had this grace about her that reminded me of Jeff's mom. And I would like wake up in the middle of the night and I would look over and Lady May would literally be like just watching over Jeff, like laying on his shoulder, but not even like curled up like Cat's getting comfortable, like watching him, like looking after him. And they had a bond like this. Oh my gosh. So yeah, that was but she was named kind of after my grandmother, but she reminded me of Jeff's mom completely. Yeah. Um I have an instant pot, and when I use the air fryer lid, it will beep to say that the pot is not in the base, but it is. Do you think I should get a new pot? Oh, so you have one of the Duo Crisps? Well, I wonder if that's a problem like they have with the Ninja Foodies. So I don't know enough about the Instant Pot. If you've dropped the pot, but the Instant Pots have stainless steel pots, right? Huh. That sounds like a connection issue more so than a pot issue, to be honest with you. Because with the stainless steel, it should actually expand and contract. So unless it was dropped, it really shouldn't be like dented enough to cause the pot notice. So it almost sounds like it's a connection issue between the lid, and that would make sense with the Duo Crisp, especially if you have the one that has that separate big ass. I'm getting a little too free with my mouth here. The big thing, the big lid. It looks like a spaceship to me, and it goes on. So that could be the issue there. If it doesn't do it when you're pressure cooking, and it only does it with that with the lid, try to clean the connections. Like, you know how it twists on? Like, I haven't put that lid on in so long. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's different from the foodie. It's different from the air fryer lid that either, on all the foodies that flip down. This one's separate. So anyway, hey Larry, how are you? Oh, and you sent me an email and I looked at it the other day and I need to go and find first of all, I need to find if you're in the email system through Kajabi, because if you are, then I can get you that book. If you're not, I've got to download it and then send it to you. So I haven't forgotten about you, Larry. I just haven't gotten there to figure out how to do it yet. So I'm going to work on that. I'll put that on my list for tomorrow. Kat, thank you so much. She said, I love the chats, even if they aren't ninja questions. Yeah, we don't have to be ninja all the time, right? I like to get to know you guys during these chats and maybe let you get to know me a little bit more. In a relaxed setting where, let my hair down, right? Okay, Aaron is making corned beef in the possible cooker. What temperature should it be when I take it out? I would let it get up to 205 to 210 degrees before you take it out. It really depends on the cooking method, but I'm sure you're doing one of the moist cooking methods, not bake, because that would not be a good method. I tried it. It's not good in the Possible Cooker Pro to do that. So you're either braising or slow cooking probably. And anything above 205 is probably fine. The point cut, I would probably definitely make sure it's 205 to 210. The flat cut, you can take it out a little bit sooner. 205 is good though, for everything. So it'll be tender enough there, but you can also poke it. And if it's not tender enough, leave it in for a little bit. The flat cut's the only one you have to worry about drying out. You don't want it to get too much higher than 205. So anyway, oh, that's a good question. Do you ever make cheese in the foodie? I'd love to see recipes. I've made mozzarella a few times and it only turned out right once. Well, isn't that hilarious that you say that? Because yes, I have made cheese in the foodie, and yes, I was working on a mozzarella recipe, and yes, I made it without paying attention too much, right? I wasn't like writing things down or paying attention to anything, and it turned out absolutely perfect. I mean, it had the pull. It was absolutely textbook perfect. I tried to recreate it, probably made it about 5, 6 more times. Never turned out. Never turned out again. And of course, the issue with the mozzarella is that you really need to have your hands in that hot liquid and things like that. And I'm like, am I really going to do a video on this and like encourage people to stick their hands in this hot liquid and burn themselves? Maybe, I don't know. But yes, I have done it, but only made it really good once. And the rest of the times it was just like kind of tough and like, you know what I mean? Like chewy and stuff. Oh, was that the booklet you're talking about, Larry? I thought you were talking about the Flavors of Fall cookbook. Maybe I misread that email. I'll go back and read it again. I thought you needed your copy of the Flavors of Fall cookbook. That's what I thought you wanted. I'll have to go back. Yeah, I know. Kat says, no, I'm not a mind reader. Yeah, I know. I can't believe that you said it only turned out once. That's hilarious. I think you and I have a ton in common, really. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for sharing that with me. I made your orange beef and broccoli last night. My husband gave it a 10 out of 10. I feel like a winner this week. All right. That is so awesome. That is a recipe that is old, like old. I have so many older recipes and they are so good, but the pictures look terrible because I still am not a photographer, but I've gotten a little bit better, right? And I have to go back and redo them because I think people don't make them because they don't look good, but they still taste good. And I'm so glad you told me that. I didn't get much feedback on that recipe, even when I first put it out. So when I don't get the feedback, I have no idea. I have no idea what Hunt Racing, name a car for an edit, please. I have no idea what that even means. So I have no idea, but name a car. Pontiac Solstice. There we go. I've got one in my garage that I never drive, but I love it. Good night, Barb. All right. Yeah, I'm going to be going here pretty soon too because Jeff's going to be home. Okay. Thanks. Thanks, John. John took care of it. I'm like, I don't know what that even means. But I still see it. I still see him, John, in the chat, but it doesn't matter. As long as he's not being crude, I don't care. I don't care if he's asking about a car name, but I don't know what it means. But anyway, it doesn't matter. As long as they're not being crude, right? Thank you, Patriot. Thank you. Well, I don't even know what that means. Again, thank you. I'll tag you in the edit. I have no idea what that means, really. I have no idea. Like, thank God I could fall into some traps, but thankfully I don't. I'm not that naive, but literally sometimes I think I'm paranoid because this could be something completely normal, but I have no idea what it means. So, and for those of you that don't know, there's somebody in the chat here on YouTube that's like saying name a car for an edit and then says thank you, I'll tag you in the edit. I don't know what that means. Does it mean editing a video together? What does this mean? I have no clue. It means I'll make clips of the car and a song in the background. Okay, for what though? Like that, I don't know. I don't know. You're not making any sense to me, Hunt Racing, but I hope you have a good night. But you're not making much sense to me because I don't even know what cars and songs and all that. Anyway, it's fine because you're not being crude, so it's fine. When Louise says, don't worry, it'll work out, she knows the recipes very well. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Well, I make them enough. My goodness gracious. I make them enough. My goodness. It's for the views. What views? And look, listen, let me just tell you something. I don't know who you are, and I don't really care. But if you are doing anything on social media for the views, you are doing it wrong. You do things for people, not for views. Views will never, ever make it. They'll never get you ahead. It doesn't matter how many followers. It doesn't matter how many views you have. Make an impact in somebody's life. And that is when you win. Okay? Just take it from me. Don't worry about the numbers, and don't come into somebody else's live and do this kind of crap. It's ridiculous. Bye-bye. Go away. John, get rid of him. Bye-bye. Go get your views somewhere else, sweetheart. All right. I've banned them. I'm done with them. I hate that. I really hate that. Little idiots. Anyway, he's banned. He's gone. For the views. Like who cares about you? My God. I hate that. God, I hate that. And there's some other people that do this too. Don't get me wrong. There's other people that hop in here and hi. And I know it's because they want their channel to be seen. Like, go somewhere else. Goodness. Anyway, all right. Well, I love our community too, and we're going to keep those people out of it because it's ridiculous. But I didn't want to be rude right at first because I don't know. Maybe he was being funny, because there's sometimes when you can take things the wrong way. So maybe he was being funny about asking me, name a car for an edit, and it was going to go somewhere, right? So I didn't want to be rude right off the bat, but I think he gave me enough information that I can be like, bye. How do I really feel? Yeah. Well, I don't hold much back, guys. I'll tell you like it is. I'll tell you how I feel. I don't hold much back because I don't see the point in it, I'm going to be as transparent as possible, Thank you, Tony. Thank you so much. I appreciate that a lot. I really do. Thank you. And every single time somebody emails me or tags me or, private messages me, it means a lot to me to hear from you guys, right? There are things that people do, like message me privately. I don't get anything from that except personal joy, right? So I encourage it. Emails, I don't get anything from that except, personal joy. And I get a lot from all of it. So I don't really care about the social shares or how many followers I have or anything like that. I never have, and I never will. No, Barbara, I didn't have any damage from the storm on Sunday night, but it was really windy. It was very windy, but nothing got damaged, thankfully. The only damage we had from the other storm that was even, 10 times worse, was our steps, which we were having redone anyway, so it didn't really matter. I didn't even put in a claim for it, but a tree branch knocked out one of the railings, but, we're doing it. Where we were replacing it anyway, so it doesn't matter. Thank you, Bonnie. Bonnie says you bring me joy. Well, thank you. You bring me joy too. And I hope everybody knows that, that all of you guys mean the world to me, really. And everything I do is in a way, I'm hoping to have an impact on you guys and to, maybe just make something a little bit easier, for you in the kitchen, hopefully. Tony, I have gotcha. Do I think you can air fry fresh made calamari with a coating in the foodie? I don't have to think. I know because I have done it. And I'm going to send you the recipe. And it turns out amazing. Now, the one thing, whether they're fresh or frozen, you do want to freeze them. So if it's fresh calamari or thawed, I don't know if you're really going to get fresh calamari. I don't know where you live, but if it's thawed, you do want to freeze it. And I'll tell you in just a minute how to do that, because otherwise, by the time the breading is crispy, it will be overcooked and rubbery, because calamari doesn't take very long at all. So it has to be frozen when you start. Now, let me find the chat again. And here you go. All right, so I'm going to paste that right in. Now, it might not be done in the Ninja Foodie. I can't remember if I did that recipe in the Ninja Foodie or if I did it in the Combi or another air fryer. It doesn't matter. You can still do it. And I would stick with the times and the temperatures that I have in there. But if your calamari is thawed and you need to freeze it, you're going to want to freeze it individually. So you're going to want to pat it as dry as you can and then lay it on parchment paper in a single layer and pop it in the freezer. Let it freeze overnight. And then you can go on with the next step and bread it and all that kind of stuff. So yes, absolutely. You can make the best fried calamari in the air fryer. It's delicious. Absolutely delicious. Thank you, John. John says, yep, we love you enormously, Louise, and appreciate all the hard work you do to keep us on our cooking journey. You have built a family following that love all you do. Thank you, John. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, let me know, Tony. Let me know how it goes. I'm sure you're going to love it. I hope you love it. And if you don't, I still want to know that you don't love it and why. Kat says she fishes with calamari. Why am I not surprised? I'm not surprised about that at all. I've been fishing a couple times in my life, but I not really. I'm from Maryland, so crabbing is my thing, right? Crabbing. And you do that with chicken necks and things like that. So I've never been fishing with calamari, but I'd love to eat it. All right. You know what I haven't perfected, Tony, and I'm still working on it, is mozzarella sticks. And I've been working on those for a long time. I kind of got away from it. I think I'm going to pick that back up because mozzarella sticks, when they're done right, they are so, so delicious. But the problem is getting them in an air fryer because you don't have that super hot heat of the oil to like really lock that breading on. The problem is the cheese oozes out, and I've tried so many different things. The closest I got to perfecting it was when I used the string cheese, like those little things, you know what I'm talking about. But I really don't want to do that. I really want to use, I want to use a mixture of mozzarella and provolone because I like the flavor of the provolone better. But I just cannot. I've put them into things, and I just think I'm gonna have an idea though as I'm talking. But I put it in the freezer before breading it. I've tried all kinds of temperatures. I've tried so many different ways, and I cannot get it to where the cheese just oozes out. And what happens is then you just have breading. Like, you know, the cheese, even if it like coats the outside and kind of burns on, if it did it just in one little area, that would be okay. But you end up with like breading and no cheese. It's terrible. So I haven't perfected that. And I kind of get a kick out of recipes on the internet that like claim that they work. And I'm thinking, they don't. I don't know why you're selling that garbage because it doesn't work. I mean, I've tried everything and I look at their recipe and it's no different than what I've tried. So I'm like, it doesn't work. Like the one thing, and people will disagree with me on this, and it's fine. You can disagree and you can love your air fried chicken. But the only way that I would ever eat air fried chicken is if it's skinless. Because no matter what I've done, when you try to bread for the air fryer, skin on chicken, the chicken never renders the fat. It gets rubbery. To me, it's disgusting. So you don't see a recipe for that on my website because I cannot get it right. And I don't think I'm ever going to get that right because it defies logic, right? That if it's different when you put it in a deep fryer because the oil penetrates through and gets that crust or the skin rendered. But in an air fryer, that's never going to happen. So your skin is always gross. So I'm not going to do it. Oh, yeah, if I made mozzarella and provolone, I'd be my own hero. If I could get these right, I'll have to try again. I've tried that. I've tried that. I've tried everything I can think of. Oh, Michelle, people swear it does. There's tons of recipes for air fryer fried chicken with the skin on. And I'm like, oh, it's terrible. I've tried it. I've tried it a lot. I've tried to actually, so I've even gone so far because when I'm trying to get something right, I'll do just about anything. So I've even tried, yeah, Jeff's home, John, right? I've even tried to pressure cook the chicken to render the fat from the skin, to get the chicken partially cooked, not all the way, but partially, but get the skin rendered enough. Nope. Where's George? George was probably, not my dog. George from Scotland, not my dog. I don't know. I didn't hear from him today. So somebody says, I work for Wetzel's Pretzels. We roll the dough in skinny strands, wrap tight, dip in water and baking soda to brown, then put breadcrumbs on and bake. Well, that sounds delicious. That sounds really good. Yum. Well, I tried pretzel bites. I'm working on a cookbook for the Ninja Foodie. I've told you guys this. It's slow going, but I am working on it. And I wanted to do cheese-filled pretzel bites. So basically what you're saying, right? I cannot get the cheese to not ooze out of those either. So the mozzarella sticks are even harder because that's just breading, right? That's not even a dough. But even with the dough around the cheese, I cannot get it to work. So I just sort of scratched that one too. Oh no, not George the dog. Yeah, they're saying Jeff's home, and I'm going to get going here too in a minute. But I don't know where George is. Well, it's like 2:00 in the morning for him. So maybe he was celebrating St. Patrick's Day and went to bed because maybe he's a little tipsy. I don't know. I'm sure he'll email me tomorrow or let me know. I am from Rhode Island. I love Rhode Island. I actually lived there for several months. I was a traveling nurse because I lived in Maryland, and we would always go to Rhode Island and Cape Cod area and Cape Cod. And I'm sorry, that's Massachusetts, but I know I went to Rhode Island to work as a nurse for 3 months. I loved it. I did home care there. I absolutely loved it. And I loved all the seafood and all that stuff. Absolutely. And being in Maryland, we could easily get seafood. Now in Tennessee and Mississippi, unless it's catfish, it's not fresh and it's hard to get, really. So, at Wetzel's, we bake for 600 degrees for 3 minutes, which really kind of sets that thing. And we can't get that high, but you just gave me an idea to use the pizza oven. I could probably do that, use the pizza oven, but I don't think too many people that follow me have the pizza oven, so they probably wouldn't appreciate me doing a recipe for something so delicious in something that they don't have. But yeah, I'm going to have to try that again. Definitely. So, all right, guys. Well, happy St. Patrick's Day. Is there anything else before I say goodnight? I think we're on track for next Tuesday I'm trying to think of, let me see the calendar. Let's see what's happening. Let's see what's happening here on the calendar. Tomorrow, let's say 18th. So next Tuesday, yes, we will be here on the 24th. I have not decided whether I'm going to do the Q&A on the 31st of March. The reason being is we leave for Panama on the 1st, and I'm not really sure what time our flight leaves. So if our flight leaves really early, I might cancel the Q&A next time. But we will see you on Tuesday for Tasty Tuesday. And I don't know what I'll be cooking, but I hope it's delicious, right? All right. All right, Craig, I am going to sign off because I know Jeff's home. He took the dogs out and, well, no, the dog's right here. I don't know where he is, but I know he's home. He's home with dinner. We're ready to eat. I've got to make the cheesesteaks and then eat, and then we have to go straight to bed because I get up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning is early, and I didn't take a nap today. All right. Love you all, which I don't usually take a nap, but on Tuesdays, I try to take a nap because I know I'm going to be up and I want to be energized for our chats and stuff and for cooking. So, anyway, Gus, say good night to everybody. Give mommy a kiss. I love you. All right. Love you guys. Bye. Don't undress me on camera. We've talked about this before.